Biden, the President of the United States, decided to withdraw all American troops from Afghanistan after a two-decade-long war. As soon as the American troops left, the Taliban captured Kabul, the country's capital, and took over Afghanistan in a record time. The international community is concerned about the human rights violations that could happen if the Taliban government seizes power. Why is Afghanistan so chaotic, and why did the war last so long? The modern and contemporary history of Afghanistan and causes of confusion. Afghanistan is a compound word that is made up of the word Afghan, which refers to an ethnic group, the Pashtuns, and Stan, which means the land. So the word Afghanistan means the land of the Pashtuns. One may think that this country is in the Middle East since they have Islamic culture, but technically it is situated in South Asia. There are many countries around Afghanistan, with Russia above, Pakistan below, Iran on the left, and China on the right. Afghanistan was considered geographically a gateway to various countries. It was invaded several times, thus the country today has a mix of cultural diversity. The modern history of Afghanistan began when they became independent from the UK in 1919. After that, Afghanistan remained as a kingdom for a while. In 1973, they established a republic after the abolition of the monarchy. During the new Cold War in the late 1970s, the Soviet Union supported the establishment of their communist regime to expand its power. This created a war between the Soviet Union and the anti-communist guerrillas who believed in Islam, the Mujahideen. The war ended soon when the Soviet Union withdrew from the country, but Afghanistan became even more chaotic. This is because the factions of different races with different political views fought for power. The U.S. war in Afghanistan and withdrawal of American troops. On September 11, 2001, Al-Qaeda's twin attack on the World Trade Center was the pivotal moment for the U.S. to invade Afghanistan. The leaders of Al-Qaeda, including Osama bin Laden, hid in Afghanistan. At that time, the U.S. asked the Taliban regime controlling Afghanistan to extradite members of Al-Qaeda, but the Taliban refused. That's why the U.S. war in Afghanistan started. The war had continued until the U.S. recently decided to pull its troops from Afghanistan after a 20-years-long war. In the meantime, public opinion on the withdrawal of American troops has been divided. The Biden administration seems to believe that it's in the interests of the U.S. to withdraw from the war with no end in sight. However, the U.S. has been criticized by the international community for throwing Afghanistan into confusion. But from the point of view from the U.S., they could reduce the cost of war and allow Afghanistan's neighboring countries to deal with the Taliban. In international politics, realism regards the international community as the field where countries pursue their own national interests with military forces to ensure their own security. Therefore, the decision made by the U.S. can be seen as a realistic action where the country pursues the national interests.